So I had just been told that I was going to be a DJ on my high school radio station, WSHJ 88.3 FM, Big Baby! Okay, a little exaggerated, I know, but it was exciting for me. And here I was, 16 years old with an on-air position. So what's one of the first things you need to do when you become a DJ, but to find a DJ name? So I raced home, and I started thumbing through the thesaurus, looking for cool adjectives to describe me as a DJ. Finally, I landed on DJ Flawless. And I'm going to explain later why that wasn't such a flawless idea. So I go in for training. I come out of training. I'm feeling really confident on this system. And I go into the studio for my very first day on air. As I walked into the studio, it was no bigger than the size of a postage stamp. You could hold your arms out and hit both sides of the booth. I got ready for my hip hop and R&B show. So as I'm in the studio prepping for my show, I see Miss Ward race past the window, and she comes and she says, Mimi, there's a problem. The system, the system that we run our music from, the DAD Pro 32, it's gone hinky haywire, and you're going to have to run your show off a hit disc. Hit disc? Yeah, that wasn't in the training manual. So I went back. She went on to explain that a hit disc is a compilation of hit music from different genres in different eras of time. So you might have a compilation of gospel, hip hop, rock, all on one CD. And so I said, okay, I got this. So I went over to the cabinet, grabbed a stack of CDs, and went back into the studio and started to prepare for my show. So the first 2 hours of my 2.5-hour show went off, I don't know, flawlessly, until I got to the last half hour. As I placed the CD inside the CD player, it began to skip. I know, right? And my heart began to skip. And the next thing I know, I got dead air. Dead air is the worst thing you can get on radio. It kind of sounds like this. That's dead air. I panicked. I didn't know what to do. I looked down at that stack of CDs I started with. They were gone. I looked out that window for Miss Ward. She was gone. So I raced out of the studio, went back to that same cabinet, grabbed the CD, put it in the player, hit play. Did I mention this was a hip hop and R&B show? Belted out over all of the airwaves for all my thousands, 3 listeners. My mom, my dad, and the cat. To hear was Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. It was Amazing Grace by Lee Greenwood, the country artist, on a hip hop and R&B show. I was mortified. I was devastated. At 16 years old, my life was over. Oh, but it got better. The phone lines began to light up. WSHJ 88.3, DJ Flawless speaking. Mimi, it was my mama. Did somebody die? Because you're playing funeral music. Yes, mama. DJ Flawless just died. It was unbelievable. I could not even conceptualize what was happening at the moment. It was so bad that I didn't even finish my show. I slipped on a CD, hoping it didn't skip, and slipped out the back door, hoping not to see Miss Ward on my way back home. About an hour or so later, I arrive at the back door of my home, and as I walk through the door, I get a whiff of one of my very favorite meals, fried chicken and macaroni and cheese. And my mother standing at the stove looking at me saying, "Flawless, huh?" But if you had been with my mother and me, just a few moments later, sitting on our green leather sofa with the smell of macaroni and cheese and chicken in the background, you would have heard her say something that could absolutely change your life. I know because it changed mine. She looked at me and she said, Mimi, sometimes you have ups and downs. Sometimes you have ebbs and flows in life. Sometimes, Mimi, you just have to reinvent yourself. You have to know that that situation doesn't make or break you as a person. It's just one little notch in the story of your life. She said, Mimi, I have a very important question to ask you. Are you going to let this moment define you, or are you going to define the moment? Define the moment? I was 16 in high school. I'm like, dude, I'm not even going to go back to school. I'm not, just put me in a boarding school. Actually, just do homeschooling. They get all A's anyway, right? But I took my mother's advice, and I went back to that radio station. Okay, not the next day, but I went back a few days later, and I reinvented myself. And I went from DJ Flawless to DJ Candy, because I'm sweet. And I started a whole new show. And little did I know at the time that that decision to make that a defining moment in my life would totally shift the course of my life. I went on to DJ my way through college, and it paid my housing. And I went on not to own one, not two, but 3 DJ companies to help supplement my income. All because I didn't let one scratch of a CD or one dead air moment shape the way that I viewed my life. I'll define that moment for myself. So I'll ask all of you, what's your defining moment? What do you have to just shift and think about a little bit differently? The key is to go back and don't let that moment in time stop you from achieving your greatness, because it's those moments in time that really make us who we are.